Bitcoin is going to zero.
Great afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Great to have you here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We have Indie Rock Crypto in the house. FMCM. What? Oh, no, wait. OMFC. What's up, bro? Welcome. We also have Jay Violet. How is it going? Morning from Austin. Welcome from MX Land. Great to have you here, Jay Violet. Really appreciate you spending a little bit of your time here with me. And also we got we got Week 5, T-Dub. How is it going, T-Dub? Welcome. Great to have you around. Great. All right, guys, so we have an open order. I know yesterday we went dark, nothing was really moving. We did enter in an open position that we had. Let me see if we can pull it up in here from the past YouTube video, just so we can follow along what happened. All right, so let me go for it, and I guess this is going to be the one that we talked about. So it was a Bitcoin open opportunity, and it actually played very nicely. All right, I got it right here. Let's get to the charts and let's see what it's moving and maybe what we can go and take advantage of. Hey, we also have JR. What's up, JR? Welcome, my friend. Great to have you here. Let's go to the charts, guys. All right, so this is what we got in here. We were looking and talking about distribution of a one single entry, right? So right here, we were coming back down. All right, we were about to have that flip of the ribbon, and I don't know why this is not showing my mouse. Oh, here it is. All right, we were about to have that flip of the ribbon. All right, and on that flip of the ribbon, well, we were already into one of our confluence boxes. All right, if you, just in case you did not remember, we turned on every single indicator and created a line based on where that indicator was showing. All right, not only that, that created three major areas of support and resistance. Let me see if I can bring her up in here. Okay, and finally, well, let's see if I can have it at the end. Here it is. And finally, deciding how we're gonna be playing this out. All right, so we were a little bit overextended. We were at the bottom of this area. We already have almost a full retracement length in here. Of course, we could be getting hit. This is where the most of that confluence were forming or gathering there from. All right, and well, then I was saying, hey, I mean, we are on support, right? I don't want to lose that opportunity. So let's do something. Let's divide our capital, right? So we went with a fourth of a position, and then because we have a lot of weight right down there, and well, I'm still stand behind that area. By the way, I'm gonna explain what happened there in a little bit, but we decided to load heavy that lower part. All right, so let's go check that out. But before I see a couple of you guys joining, we have Alexander G. What's up, Alexander? Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time here with me. Really appreciate it. Also, we have my good friend Gare. What's up, bro? Welcome, bro. How is it going, man? I'd love to see you around, brother. Thank you. Also, Kelly Colorfine. What's up, Kelly? JR, double shout out to my gaming buddy. Welcome. Who else we got in here? Indie Rock Crypto. What's up, my friend? Welcome. All right. So we better create a gaming gang, guys. That'll be fantastic. That'll be phenomenal. Also, I see right here, do we have Harp in the chat, or is it just because I was restreaming him? Maybe it's because I was restreaming him. Yeah, I was looking at him right here. All right, so let's go over and take a look at how that played out. All right, so this was our entry here. All right, and well then, something really happened right here. So we went up, we were moving upwards, and boom, going back right here on the zero line. Something important that I wanted to mention, guys, it is that because I had my 3/4 of a position, right? I'm not moving my stop to entry as soon, all right? So that helped me because if you would have moved my stop to entry here, right? This would got me out and a re-entry would have been taken right there, all right? But so far, just so you know, yes, I was a little bit on the water for a little bit in here, waiting for maybe collecting these 3/4 of a position right down there, and finally burst to yesterday. To be honest, we were somewhere around here. I'm still expecting to get all the way up here to the dynamic reactor. All right, so we are on our way. Guys, if you haven't, I would say take early profits, all right? My next early profit is gonna be here. I took it today in the morning, so I'm already out on that area. But guys, it's playing out. Boom shakalaka. Let's go. All right. After that, now it's safe to say, all right. Now that I have taken some profits, all right, it's safe to say that I'm gonna be moving. In fact, I already have, all right, but you can still do it. Move your stop to entry, and let's leave not a 3/4 of a position. All right, let's just leave X amount of money here, all right, but add another alert. I'm still expecting for the worst case scenario to go all the way back down there. If we start looking at daily and 2 days, we're going to be seeing that we have dynamic reactor in there. Let's go to a cleaner chart really quickly, all right? So far, let me clear this up. All right, so far we have, let's use one of my favorite tools, which is a regression trend, right? Tool. It's a free tool. You can see we're still on a downtrend. Yes, we are in resistance, but dynamic reactor is right there, right? We have a goose head, and also shout out because you guys did cut that goose head. You guys remember on the morning show of Car Prime, you guys caught that goose head. That not only on this oscillator, you also caught it on the other 3 oscillators: the MVP oscillator, the Prime oscillator, and of course our classical oscillator. Hey KTGT, how's it going, brother? Welcome, welcome. Great to have you around, my friend. Nice to have you here. All right, so what are we expecting? I'm expecting a little bit more of a downtrend. All right. I don't want to be very optimistic. Also, I don't want to be very pessimistic. All right, but I want to stay within that middle ground. So far, we're at the top. There's no other way to say this. I mean, we are at the top. All right, and I mean, we have such a perfect pattern. Something important is that we are creating that double bottom pattern. All right. That is important talking about when that trend line is going to be broken. We already have a channel. We can actually maybe try to push this channel far back in here, and that just give it a little bit more of a tilted downwards line. All right, so let's just move it here. See that? Well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's just so small of a change that it really doesn't impact on the average, right? But let's still do a trend line in here. So what kind of trend line? Would we be going like this? If we go like that, I mean, to this point and this point, oh, I don't know. It doesn't feel right, right? But if we, in fact, if we start ignoring that and we hit this other one, well, then we are basically going for the median of the range. Or what if we just do something like that and then we just push it upwards? I will say that right now we have a little bit more of a decent trend line in here, right? Something like this that we can go for example, this high, very close to this high. This one is a fake out, this high, and right now maybe we could consider a breakout, maybe continuation, and that's what we're gonna be doing our next analysis, right? That's exactly what we're gonna be doing our next analysis, and that is because right here, because we are above the 0 line, all right, because we could be creating that higher low, because we are breaking. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, that trend line, right? That's when we have our next possible opportunity. And remember, this is still speculation, right? Let's bring up a couple of other tools to see if we have something in there. But before I forget, all right, before I forget, let's go and check out the 2 days. I want to go over to the 2 days. And this, to be honest, I was looking at the daily and the 12 hours, and for some reason I clicked the 2 days, and I was like, This one actually is it's looking very nice. All right, let's go into the 2 days. And again, for me, it's not that the 2 days it is that big of a deal. All right, but remember that we always try to forecast our dynamic reactor. So let's go all the way here, try to follow its state, right? Something like that. And we actually don't know what's going to happen here, right? We can go like a little bit flattish or a little bit higher up. It doesn't really matter. So the farther we go, the more that we're going to be diverging from whatever you want to draw on there, which is fine, all right? But the point is that if we go for some liquidity or where some order blocks might be forming, first of all, right, we have these highs. These highs right here. Next in the line, we have not only these highs that we already have lost, but we have this box in here. This is where liquidity is being left out, all right? So maybe we can try to catch the very top of these lines, all right? Maybe we can go for an average low on this low, this low, and this low. You see, I'm not going crazy like this, like all the way down, but trying to catch, you know, the average low. And look at where that dynamic reactor is coming in strong, all right? So it's right there on the verge of that support. Again, and I want to mention this because I don't want to be that guy, you know, like, hey guys, if you go to the, I don't know, to the, what is it, 2.3 days chart, and then you do a 2.5 EMA with a 5.6, I don't know, smoothing factor, and do such a manipulation into the charts, right? I mean, I think just the 2 days already that far enough, right? Still, it's coinciding with that area of confluence, all right? So just wanted to show you that it does help as long, as we go to time frame, and we're gonna keep going there. But first, I see we have Crypto Squid. What's up, Crypto Squid? Welcome, my friend. Thanks to have you here. Double shout to KTGT. What's up, brother? Welcome. When are you gonna be jumping into gaming, KTGT? I know you want it. Let's make it a reality. KR and we're gonna be waiting for you, bro. So jump in. Who else we got in here? I think that is it for now. So we have a Crypto Squid, KTGT jumping in into the class. Welcome. Great to have you here. So let's go and check that out. All right. So as we move down from the 2-day to, I don't know, the daily, all right, we still see the same areas. I mean, these stops are not going away, but those stops are not going away, right? The thing that is moving, it is the dynamic reactor. And that is because the volume allocation, the important volume allocation on the lower time frame tends to be a little bit more tighted around the edges, right? I mean, if we go higher or lower in time frame, like for example, let's go to the 1 hour, you will see that we're not even in support. We are actually at resistance. The dynamic reactor is above us. So let's just give it a second for it to load. And as you can see, oh no, by the way, it proved me wrong. Oh, look at that. It actually proved me wrong. All right. We are breaking through, but barely. All right, let's go back to the 4 hour, and we'll see how that is. It's showing up. All right, so that is a resistance, right? So far so good. Depending on what time frame you're going for, the main volume area will change. And remember, your dynamic reactor is exactly that. It is showing you the main volume area. Let's go. I won it, he said, KDD. Absolutely. By the way, send me a friend request over Discord, man. I'm gonna be looking for your friend request. Send me a friend request. All right. So far, let's go back into the daily. All right. So daily, and remember the daily, and then the 2 days. So far we are on that bounce, so we are on that support. Let's just hide this. All right. That support is playing out. All right, perfectly. And if we start dropping our spaghetti here, oh, we already have that trend line. We're still respecting somewhat that trend line. All right. Let me just get rid of this for a second. Here it is. So we don't have that much noise in the screen. And also, let me just zoom in here. All right, perfect. So what we got in here, well, we still have a little bit of a buffering zone at the top. We're not yet breaking. And of course, we could be dropping back down. But Look at how many bullish divergences we have. This is not a continuous bullish divergence, all right? This is not a triple divergence. Yes, there are three lines coming from one same vertex, but ending at different other pivots. That makes sense. So this is a standalone trend, not trend, I'm sorry, standalone. Oh man, I just said it. Standalone. Good. Let me just double click and read it. Why not divergence? All right. Standalone divergence. Then we have another standalone divergence, and then we have another standalone divergence. All right. So are we gonna? Is it gonna be placed? Not. I mean, those three different divergences, they don't sum up. Right. It's not that they're gathering more strength over time, but we tend to look at the highest or longest one, which is this last one right here. Right. That ends up right here. So far, it's kind of like playing out, right? It's going higher, and we need to at least have that breakout, that retest, maybe create that double bottom, but still, we can go even lower. How low? I mean, if we go high here, and this is somewhere around here because we have our previous lows in here and our previous highs. Let's draw that box in here. All right, look at that. Right, that is a resistance coming to the resistance. Well, then we can still create a lower high, and then we could be going for a lower low. All right, guys, that is what I want to see. I want to see suffering. No, just kidding. Of course not. Of course not. But I want to see Bitcoin dropping. All right, so that's what I'm telling you in advance. Be careful. I'm not any guru that has a crystal ball, right? Maybe an eyeball of crystal, maybe. Class. Eyeball? No, just kidding. Of course not. That's why it's a different green tone, right? One is brown, and the other one is green. Just kidding. That is just because I stare too much at the microwave oven. I suppose the same from KDGT is not because he also stares at the microwave oven. All right, but we have Trendy Tuition. What's up, bro? Welcome. Great to have you around, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so that is why I'm covering this bearish stock, right? Don't want to be the bear because I'm already into we are into a long position, right? But there is still the chance that we reject at 113 each. In fact, you just see me dropping this trend line. Oh, not this trend line. Come on, where is it? This box in here, right there. And also you see that I have this Fibonacci retracement. You also see that right here. Let's go and get closer, all right? That I was aiming at the same area right here. And then today in the morning, you saw me, well, talking about this resistance area that is not there just from yesterday. It was there from a long time ago, all right? We also have this other trend line that could be respected. So we can still put in a lower high. How do we define it? We don't. We just let it play it out. We're already into a long. If you're not into a long, don't worry. The price might give you a better opportunity, all right? So let's go for the worst case scenario, right? What would that worst case scenario be? I would say that the worst case scenario would be just blowing and leaving us out without a lower low, all right? So what if that happens? Well, if that happens, we want to see a big AF candle in here, all right, then coming back down, or at least a little bullish flag, all right, and then breaking through. And this is right here or right here or right here. This is where we enter. Where are those points? Well, let me just make this a little more professional looking, all right? So what if we have a bullish flag, all right, that breaks to the upside? Well, the first area that we're going to be looking for is going to be a Fibonacci retracement, all right? Fibonacci retracement from this low to whatever we see that burst of area, which is going to be, I would guess, the next area of resistance, big resistance, which is average highs in here, the previous highs in here, right? Somewhere around that area, all right? Coming back down to a 30% retracement. You know that I like the 33, 38, all right? Very close to our 50% retracement, right? That was our first opportunity where we enter with risk. And then as we're breaking out of the flag, that is our next possible entry. And finally, as we break our 0% retracement or our B, OS, break of structure for bullish continuation. That will be our next possible entry. All right. So, what am I giving you this in advance and that much in advance? Because if we blow up, the thing's going to be moving fast. Very, very, very fast. And I don't want you guys to start buying the top. But if you buy the top, all right, you know where exactly is going to be that top to hold it, and then maybe re-enter, and so on and so forth. So you have your plan ready, all right? So let's just summarize what's going on here. Well, we are into a long, perfect. We are into a quarter of a position. We already have taken 50% out of that quarter of a position, all right? The possibility to go back at 105 or even or even all the way to 80 something. Let's go back in here, all right, and let's have a click to well, not 80 something, sorry, my bad, I just was too bearish here. To 100k, all right, even to go 100k, they are still possible. I mean, look at, let's just measure this low, like how we went down, but that will put us at 105, still 100 round, all right? So in that round, well, like for example, what if we do this whole movement in here, all right, with this high? Well, at the dynamic reactor, that will put us at 102, all right? So maybe not exactly at 100k, but you get my point. We are still with a round of possibilities to go lower. If we go lower, right, we have a stop loss. Reallocate your position a little bit lower, and that will give you a much better entry, all right? So having said that, let's go and check out, let's do a top-down analysis on things that we are looking into. And of course, you will short to 100k. No, I mean, I don't know yet. Let's try to do that. I just saw that, Kelly. All right, there's two points of view. We end up having a long. Remember that? This is the last class that we had. 1/4 of an entry and then 3/4 of an entry right down here. That played out just for the first entry. Did not cut the 3/4 of an entry. All right. So where am I gonna be looking for? I'm gonna be looking for my base retracement to be in between 112 and 113. So yes, you are right from that area. But having said that, am I just going to short it all the way down there? Not sure. First, I want to see a rejection, or for me to open up a short, I want to see this thing breaking through. All right, and doing something like that. This is on the way down. That's when I'm gonna be opening up a short. So right there, that's when I'm gonna be opening up a short. All right, and hopefully we can short it all the way to 100k. That would be fabulous. That would be fabulous, Kaylee. But the next case scenario will be breakout, retest, continuation. All right. So if that happens right here after the overshoot, I'm gonna be looking for longing this area with the flip of the ribbon. All right. In this case, a little bit later, as we have a confirmation with that flip of the ribbon on the way up. All right. So those are the points that I'm going to be either longing or shorting. It's not that I have decided right now. I still need more information to know exactly where and how am I going to be executing the trade. And of course, it also came to that perspective or that point where I might lose my entry. It had happened in the past. All right. I mean, if not, let's talk about FE, right? Freaking ETH, man. It always slips between the fingers. All right. Go and check that out. Let's go and start with ETH. All right, let's go start with it. ETH, I'm looking for a breakout to the upside. We got a very nice run up in here. I still have my alert at 4,193. If I hit that, most likely I'm going to take a quote-unquote blind trade. What means is that I already have made up my mind that I want to long here, right? Other than if I see something really bearish, I'm not going to. But if the price gets here, I'm almost certain, like 80% certain, that I'm gonna be taking that long on Ethereum, all right? And that is because we're gonna be making a double bottom. We already sort of like have that double bottom. right? And we are on our way for that flip of the ribbon, all right, to the upside. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. That's what I want to see, all right? Maybe a little bit lower than having that flip of the ribbon. That'll be fantastic. That'll be the perfect trade. But in the meantime, I need to wait. What if it goes up? I'm going to be missing this pump, which is fine. And then I'm going to be trying to go for either a short or a breakout retest in the retest long to the next target, all right? So yes, I know I have this buffering zone that I could be not earning money. But that is like the, the danger zone that I don't want to try. So that would be for Ethereum. But let's take a look at XRP. All right, XRP, we were talking about, this is where we left out. Let me see if we actually got it in here. No, this was Bitcoin. Come on, I know we got XRP here. Do you remember that we talked about? All right. Oh, by the way, TAO. We need to take a look at TAO. But come on, XRP. I know you are somewhere around here. Was right here or even the previous analysis. But come on, XRP, ARB, XIBT. Come on. All right, so I don't find it. Let's just check that out. This is where we left out. Good. Look at that. Come on. All right. So breakout. All right. We already knew this already had happened. All right. That is fine. Breakout. We're on the breakout. Retest continuation. All right. So right now, I'm a little bit undecided whether I should be taking this short or not. Right. And that is because let's go for the support and resistance. We do have a pretty good resistance in here. I mean, dude, it's right there, right? Not only that, we already have, done that analysis. Let's just get rid of this, right? Because of the noise. We already have done that analysis and we're looking for that area. Let's add that alert. In fact, if we go to our alerts, you'll see that XRP hit alert at 284 and 279. And so we were looking for that area of rejection, right? So we are expecting that area of rejection, if you may remember. But I'm not quite there yet on rejection zones. Let's bring on my VRVP. My linear regression oscillator. Look at that. I'm going high, but also losing that strength. All right. We should be either ranging, right? Going high or ranging. So maybe ranging up here and then coming back down. That might be the way to go. But still, what if for some reason, right, we do that, all right? This is the point that I want to short. Just like in here, that will be the point that I want to short it, all right? So far, I'm still waiting if we're going to be able to catch that short. I'm aiming at that resistance. In fact, let's just push it a little bit lower at 2877. 777777777. All right, so let's give it a little patience. Hopefully it doesn't go between the fingers. And this is a possible short scenario. I don't think that we're going to hit a dynamic reactor, but still remains to be seen. It is a possibility, right? Let's go and take a look at BNB. Right, BNB, we analyzed this today in the morning. Thing hasn't really moved out. It hasn't been broken out. It's not really doing much. It's still on the bearish side in here, incrementing strength, possibly going lower at this area of entry. In fact, if you guys look at this, we have an alert right here, the little clock, which is on the secondary line right here. It's just a little bit offset, just so you know, and that is in case it starts moving. So let's just leave this as is. All right, if it moves to the upside, I want to know. If it moves to the downside, I want to know. Areas of entries, I'm gonna be looking for something like this, all right, to the upside, or area of entries, something like this to the downside. Then maybe from here to the upside, who knows? But so far, one step at a time. First, the thing needs to move. But I'm keeping an eye on BNB. Solana. Let's take a look at Solana. All right, so Solana, we're getting to our next rejection zone, all right? So we're very close already. We talked about this today in the morning, all right? Let me just right click in here. Let's lock this up. All right, let's lock these 2 or 3 areas. So we have it in end, right? Lock it. And once again, let's just remove everything, right? And this one's already gone. Oh, come on. And let's get rid of it. All right, perfect. So far, so good. This is where we're standing. We're losing strength, and we're about to go green. That means high or range. With range, most likely we're going to do it by Simpson, right? So we still need to give it a little bit of time in here. We're getting into it. This is a little bit more developed, all right? We're getting into rejection zones. At least we are almost right there, all right, with our previous range, right? So far rejection zones we are hiring. Important, look at our volume matrix. Let's get rounded back down, but look at our money flow. It's going up, so things are canceling each other. It's still on the go. All right, so let's just give it one more, I don't know, one or two more candles. Let's see how that develops. And I'm gonna be looking for a next entry in between this area and this area to be hunting a possible my passive freedom. What's up? Welcome. Pump it. Love it. Yeah, pump it. Let's see. Hopefully. But I'm looking for shorts, bro. So be careful. Be careful out there. All right. Let's go and take a look at Link. We did not check out Link. We were looking for a possible short at this area. By the way, just so you know, did we got it? Not really, but it was so crazy close, man. Look at that. All right, so that is gone. No entry. I did not take that one. That is fine. Let it go. All right, what's up in here? We are looking at a bounce in here, but we're not creating a higher low so far. We are just about to break above the zero line, which is cool. But also right here, we don't have, I would say, enough bullishness. All right, we're bearish. All right, we're bearish. So once again, at this point, we already have a trend line. Let's just mark that trend line so we can add an alert to it. And I'm gonna be adding another alert right on this previous low and a trend line breakout maybe somewhere around here. And of course, let's lock that trend line, and on that trend line again, add an alert. All right. So this is gonna be the plan. If the thing chain link breaks through, I know we're gonna be missing on that, but let's gonna be going for that short, right? Short it here. If it goes lower, we're gonna long it here. All right, so that's the same thing that we're expecting with BNB, right? So remember, those are possible entries right here and right there. And well, that's gonna be it for now. I want to go over one more before we hit it up. That is LDO. It's LDO right now. We're underwater, right? Not only underwater. In fact, we should be already out of that trade. Not only LDO, we also are on or AI. On where is it? Here it is. IMX USD. We talked about this one, and this played out very, very nice. All right, just like we show our good trades, we need to show our bad trades. Just so you remember, LDO took us out. That's fine. Well, what can we do about it, right? Sometimes that happens. But IMX, it actually played out very, very nicely. We did the same like spaghetti analysis, right? We just turn on everything one by one and start adding lines where most of the things were displaying. Well, we had our area of a box of entry here. We decided add possible entry. Look at that beautiful entry. And then just like that. Ooh, look at this. Already taking profits. All right, guys. We should be already taking profits out of IMX. We talked about IMX in here, this class. And also as well as ARB. All right, ARB. We need to take a look at ARB. Maybe Tron. Let's go take those out. So I completely forgot about those. By the way, I already have closed those. So TRX, it's already gone. And that is because I was not filling it on this way down. All right. So this was our entry. Nice. And are not on the way up. Perfect. my first body candle on green, and then it just went down, and I haven't opened any other trade. All right, so we're still on that, basically not win, not a loss, zero losses. Right? But so far so good. I mean, by trading low volume and weekend, I think that was a good win rate that we have had. My MIX is crazy. Just it's a little crazy. What is it setting instead of? I'm not following that. My weekly time frames modified stochastic. The tweet is yesterday on BTC earlier. Love it, nice. All right, so at this point, let's just be patient. Tomorrow we should be having some numbers. All right, let's see how those job numbers come out. At this point, if you have any vanilla trades, like for example Tron, I would suggest friendly suggestion, get rid of them if you're on profits. All right. If you're not, give it a chance. There will be moving into profits because we're not that far away. We're going to be ranging for those numbers, and those numbers are going to be defining TradFi. All right, and then TradFi is going to be fluxing on Bitcoin and altcoin. So weekend is gone, Monday is gone. Tuesday, I know that we should be seeking for entries right now, but we have important data coming up. All right, so let's be a little patient. Let's see how the market start defining a direction, and of course, let's trade it. Even if we open up trades on weekends, Fridays, right? You know, I hate that, but hey, I mean, if there is an opportunity, we take it. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for jumping today with me. Really appreciate it, guys. A really quick reminder: click that like button. Really helps with the algorithm. So right now, there's 20 current viewers, and we have 11 likes. Don't miss that opportunity. It's free. Oh well, help us out. Click that like button. Really helps. All right, guys. Other than that, that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining, and as always, see you guys tomorrow.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
Zero.